Okay, so this is the starting of our trigonometry units, chapter 2 in your Nelson online textbook. And today we'll just be reviewing previous grade 9, grade 8 material. So this is our 3.0 section. So in your textbooks, there's going to be like 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, or 4.1, 4. etc. There's not going to be a 0.0 section, but all the 0.0 sections are just notes I made up to review grade 9 material, so everyone has like a foundation of what to do. Okay, so before we start, we're just going to go over the unit expectations and what we need to learn in the Trig section. So if you go to the BC Curriculum Outline website, or you type in like BC 10 Math Curriculum on Google, your first link will take you here. And we're just going to focus on the Trig section. So this is just what you need to learn in Math 10 and the big idea. So here's the bubble for trigonometry. It says, trigonometry involves using proportional reasoning to solve indirect measurement problems. So if you're looking for one side of a triangle or a right triangle and you have the other two sides, you should find it by using Pythagoras theorem, or you can find it. And or if you have an angle on a side, you can find the missing angle, because you have, well, you do have the right angle and you have the unknown angle, and you can find the unknown angle. So things like that we're going to be looking at. And so initially they're all closed. If you want to look a little bit deeper into the content, you can click on your trigonometric. So sine, cosine, and tangent ratios are what we're going to learn the next few days. Your unit test is planned for Thursday this week, but it might change to Friday, but we're going to try to keep it Thursday. Right triangle problems, determining missing sides and or angles using trigonometric ratios and the Pythagoras theorem, which we'll go over a bit. We'll go over Pythagoras theorem today. And context involving direct and indirect measurements. So kind of what we just talked about earlier. Okay, so I'm going to close this and let's just jump into the notes. Okay, so I've got my document camera set up. And so these notes, I'll provide the completed copy, and also I'll try to provide a blank copy on your class notebook. So I'll go over that in the first day of the class notebook, but in that section you'll have an area of your own where you'll have all the notes, and that's where you're going to have to upload your homework. So when you finish your homework, you're going to send it there. I'll talk about that at the end of the lesson as well. Okay, so let's just jump into this. First thing you want to do, if you did print it out and you're following along and creating the notes, is write your name. Just in case, I don't know, someone in your family tries to steal your notes. But yeah, so labeling the triangle. So let's look at how a triangle is. This is a triangle ABC, and just notice that the angles are capital letters. Yeah, there we go. And I'm using pen. I was using pencil, but you couldn't see it, so I had to erase it and re-record the video. It's too faint. But when you're doing math, always use pencil. Okay. And you notice that the sides of the triangle are lowercase. So sides are lowercase. There we go. Okay. And also notice that angles and sides with the same letter are opposite. So angle A is opposite to lowercase a side. So it's always like that. Angle C is opposite of side C. So angles and sides with the same letter are opposite. Okay, so that should be just some background there, and let's jump into the next part. So corresponding angles are equal and corresponding sides are proportional in length. Given the similar triangles below, find x. Okay, so x here, so all this is basically saying that is we have two similar triangles, meaning that their proportions are equal. Okay, Doesn't mean that the numbers are equal, obviously they're different, but the ratios from side to side are they going to be the same. Okay, so let's look at this. First, what I would do is label the hypotenuse and each side. So we'll talk about hypotenuse and opposite and adjacent in a bit in the next page. But for now, just notice that this is the right angle, right? You can see it's 90-degree angle, the right angle, and opposite of it is going to be the hypotenuse. So I'm just going to label this with a little triangle, and the same thing with the other side. So 20 and 30 are similar sides. So what I'm going to do is do the first triangle A on top with the ratio of 30 to 20. Okay. Now we're going to set a proportion with x as well. Okay. So on this side, just notice that these angles are labeled. So x is in between the right angle and the double kind of marked angle. So we'll put x there where it's where the 20 is. Okay. And for the first triangle, the 24 side is between the angle with the 2 slashes here and the right angle. So that's how you kind of set it up. You got your 30 and 20 on both first triangle on the top, and 20 and x. So the reason why I set it up this way is you have 3 known factors, and you got a 1 unknown variable here. So we can find this pretty easily. And what you can do is a trick to find the unknown is just cross multiply and divide. That's what I usually do. So cross multiply 20 times 24 divided by 30 will give you whatever x is. But we can do it step by step as well. You can also multiply across. So like multiply this way. So hopefully this is looking kind of messy, but and multiply this way. So what do you do? 30 times x is 30x, which is going to equal 20 times 24, which is 480. And a little bit of algebra, you know, this is 30 times x. Well, this is getting kind of low. I should move it up a bit. Okay, 30 times x equals 480. So to get rid of the 30, you do the opposite of multiplying, which is divide. Divide by 30. Divide by 30. Okay, and now you'll get on your calculator 480 divided by 30, or you could do it in your head. So it should be 16. Okay, there we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is move my keyboard out of the way first. Okay, and let's do the next one. So Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so Pythagoras theorem you should know is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and where c squared is going to be the hypotenuse. Okay, so you should already be aware Pythagoras theorem is used to find the length of the third side in any right triangle given you know the lengths of the other 2 sides. Okay, so here this one's pretty simple, straightforward. So let's write out Pythagoras theorem first. And let me just make sure it's lined up with the computer. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It doesn't really matter what a and b are. Just know that c squared is always the longest side, which is the hypotenuse across from the right angle. So this is c, right? So what you're going to do is just call this a, I guess, and this one b. Could be the other way around, doesn't matter. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared, right? Do a little bit of math. 3 times 3 is, 3 times 3 is not 16, this is 9. 4 times 4 is 16, equals c squared, and then this 25 equals c squared. So, and what you need to do to get rid of the squared is square root is the opposite of squaring something. So square root that, and then you get 5 is equal to c. Okay. Okay, and then it's also noticed in meters as well. So what you would do is 5 meters. Just don't forget the units. Okay. And well, 5 meters equals c. They want to know what x is, but yeah, so it's the same sort of thing. Okay, so next question, same idea, but now we have the c squared here. We have the hypotenuse given. So this is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to do a squared. We'll write out Pythagoras theorem again. Plus b squared equals c squared. I'll just label this. This could be a. This is b. This is c, right? Across from the right angle. Okay. So now what you could do is 21 squared, that's right here, 21 squared plus b squared equals c squared is 24 squared. Okay, sorry, that's like 24 squared. Okay, and let me move this over. Okay, now let's do 21 times 21, which is 441, plus b squared equals 24 times 24, and I have it written down here because I can't do that in my head too fast, so it's 576. Okay, and now here all you gotta do is a bit of algebra as well. We want to isolate the b squared here, so let's get rid of the 441 from this side by subtracting. These cross out, so what you do on one side you do on the other. Okay. B squared is equal to, so 576, 135. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to square root it because I want to square root both sides to get rid of the square here. So the squares cancel out. B is equal to 11 point, and I rounded it to the hundredth spot here, so 6.2, and the unit is centimeters. Okay, so B is equal to that. Well, this is supposed to be X, so you can also write down X is equal to 11.62 because they're actually want X. Okay, so let's move down a little bit further. So now we got some practice questions. Well, these ones I'll leave for you guys to do homework as well because they're just exactly the same as what I did. So I'm pretty sure you're going to get bored if I do the exact same thing again. So Pythagoras theorem to solve these two questions. Okay. Let's move on to the next page. Okay. So the next page we're going to talk about the hypotenuse and adjacent and opposite. So trigonometry is a study of triangles and relationships of measurements of their sides and angles. This year we'll focus on right angle triangles. So I think in grade 11 you start looking at triangles that are not right angles, but in grade 10 it's all right angle triangles. Okay. Every right triangle has a hypotenuse and two legs. When we are referring to one of the acute angles in the triangle, legs can be specified as adjacent side and the opposite side. So this terminology, adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse is very important because we're going to be using this for the rest of the week. Just note, hypotenuse is the longest side across from the right angle. Okay. And adjacent and opposite, it depends on what your reference angle is. Okay, so for example, if we're looking at, and this angle here is just like theta. Okay, so if theta is in the top corner here, the adjacent side is going to be the right next to that angle. So right next to it is this side, so this is adjacent, and the opposite side is opposite of the reference angle. Okay. So let's look at that again, but imagine if we're looking at this will be the reference angle. So here, so same triangle, but reference angle is here. Notice the hypotenuse doesn't change. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Okay. The adjacent is now going to be on this side because it's next to the reference angle, and the opposite is the one that's furthest across. Right. So this is the opposite. Okay. And that's pretty much all this says right here. Okay. The sides of a right triangle are based on the position of one angle called the reference angle. The reference angle is the angle we know as the angle we're trying to find. It's the angle each of the sides are labeled in reference to. So just what we went over there. Hypotenuse is the longest side, is always across, right? Opposite is the side across from the reference angle. So if this is the reference angle, opposite is over there. Adjacent is the remaining side in the triangle. It's the side next beside the reference angle. So over again, right next to it. Okay, so that should be pretty easy. We're going to do some examples. I'm sure you guys kind of get this, but let's just go over this. So label the sides. Again, just start with the hypotenuse across from the right angle. So I'm just going to label HYP, HYP, stands for hypotenuse. Okay. And so if this is a reference angle, you know that this is going to be adjacent, and this obviously has to be opposite because it's opposite. So again, across from the right angle, hypotenuse. side right next to the reference